Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the next episode of Conversations with the Blank Experiment. Today, we are fortunate enough to have Kincaid Rabb here with us to talk a little about his piece, Say My Name, which we recently recorded on our debut album, Conversations. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Of course. Hi, I'm Kincaid.
So, Kincaid, how did you come to know the Blank Experiment and work with us?
Well, I've known Drew for how many years now? Quite a few.
Old. I don't know.
I'm not old.
It
None of
blurs
us are
together.
old. Something like 6 or 7 years now,
Yeah.
and I saw they had a new thing called the Blank Experiment, and so I took it upon myself to message the Facebook page with something along the lines of, "Hey, do you guys want shit to play?"
And I remember this because I think Drew and I made the Facebook, and then you messaged us within like the first 24 hours of us.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
I believe you were the first one to message us. If not, you were at least one of the first 2 or 3 people to message us.
Yeah, and it was just it was a phase of my life when I was a lot more casual than I am now, and I'm still pretty damn casual. But it was also a time where I was not working on anything, or where perhaps where I knew like I would have time in the upcoming months to do something. Truthfully, I didn't expect to get paid. So I was like, because it was coming out, I think it was the semester after I graduated from undergrad. And it was like, I can't monetize music. I just graduated with my bachelor's. That's not how it works. I have to get 2 more degrees, then I can start asking people for money. I have no problem with that now. And I was like, that's a cool thing. I write for wind instruments, and I also write for harp. And I was like, this might be a really good fit, and it turned out that it was.
So you want to tell us a little bit about your piece, Say My Name?
So, from what I understand about the way that the commissioning for the Blank Experiment worked is one of each of the members commissioned pieces, provided the funding for the commissions.
Yeah, there were kind of composers each of us reach out to, and we were kind of the ones talking with them about what we thought would be best for the ensemble.
Yeah, so I was with Michelle, and we bounced a couple ideas, but she said, it'd be really great is a piece that's based off of the plot of Breaking Bad. And I, having never seen Breaking Bad, said, maybe something else, maybe a different idea, maybe any actually other idea.
I think you suggested the picture of Dorian Gray or something.
I think I did, and I'm really glad I didn't write that piece. But because I just read a little bit. Anyways, never mind. And that book is a lot. And so, but then I had an active Netflix account, and I went on Netflix, and then I binged Breaking Bad, which takes a while, by the way. It's a long show. It's it took me several weeks to binge that show because it's a while. And then I was like, yes, I'm absolutely, this show is a television masterpiece. It's up there with Downton Abbey. It's just great. And then I went, I think she has a good instinct here. This is the piece that I should write. So the piece is about Walter White's transformation into Heisenberg. And kind of traipses through the entire story and how it changes from sentimental Walt to calculating super criminal. Is that the word? I don't know.
Yeah, drug lord.
Drug lord. That's the word. Yeah. Drug lord.
Drug kingpin.
Yes. And shows how that shows how he really transforms throughout the story. It's one of my works that's really interesting because one of the things I wonder about as a composer a lot is the relationship between text and music, and the relationship between how we can tell stories through music. And this piece really captures a lot of what I was trying to do in that period where I was trying to tell stories through music. Yeah, and it's for clarinet, tenor, saxophone, and harp, which I think I proposed because I wanted like a soprano, and a tenor and a bass, thinking that the harp would be bass. The harp did not end up being the bass. For like most of the piece, it was like, here's some bass notes, but it's actually just like a lot of bass legato. And yeah, so.
What kind of challenges did you face while you were writing the piece for us? Like, because it was like a new instrumentation, there's not really anything to base it off of. So I'm just curious how you went about that.
Well, the best thing to do with that particular instrumentation, I found, was to let the individual instruments do what they were best at. So let the harp do harp things. Let the saxophone do saxophone things, which is to say anything. Let the clarinet do clarinet things, which is almost anything. I say that as a clarinetist.
Yeah.
And really work with limitations of the individual instruments, which is to say that harp is the most limited of the three, certainly, and easily the hardest of the three to write for. And thank God I had a background in writing for it. Because I had just finished a substantial harp solo called Fresh Powder, that has not yet been performed.
Sadly, no harp players on this call. Sorry.
But if there's someone watching, there's a piece
Attention,
out there.
harp players.
Yeah. It's really, really hard. I need to edit it. Don't worry about it, guys. It's definitely one of those, like, this is the first time someone's written for harp sort of pieces.
So just be Fresh Powder revisited.
I might, which is not about cocaine. It's about skiing. I can't remember who first said that joke. Breaking Bad's meth. I don't know. Is there cocaine in that show? I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it.
I think
it's primarily meth. But
most like 99 point whatever cent purity of meth. Yeah.
Is this am I the only one here that hasn't seen Breaking Bad?
I think so.
True.
Yeah.
It is like when I was telling you, Kincaid, about it, you're probably like, oh god, another show someone's recommending me. That's
actually that wasn't so much the thing. It was for me, I mean, like, my dad watched it when it was coming out, when I was in like high school. And like he was like, he told me at that time, he was like, you will not like this. It's too much for you. But he was also like watching like Sons of Anarchy and like all of like that whole category of shows.
Yep.
And I was like, I was watching Glee. So you know, which is, by the way, a terrible show. Just real bad. And I was watching like Avatar: The Last Airbender. You know, like it's very
there's a
very
big
different
contrast.
So like I had like these preconceived notions about what Breaking Bad was, So when I sat down and actually watched, I was like, oh, this is like art. Neat. And so like it wasn't like I don't get inundated with like people telling me to watch shows, like, but every once in a while my parents will tell me to go watch Game of Thrones, and I'm like, I don't have 6 months, so
I've tried.
Don't watch it.
I don't have 6 months to
read the books.
I
Don't
even
watch
tried
the
to
show.
watch that, and I watched Tiger King. I could watch all of Tiger King, but I couldn't make it past episode 1 of Game of Thrones.
Oh, I absolutely made it through Tiger King.
If you watch Game of Thrones, only watch seasons 1 through 3. Stop watching after that, and then just read the books.
And how many seasons are there? Like 13 or something?
No, I think there's like 9 or something, and there's supposed to be like
that's not much
books.
better. Like
I just want season 2 of Tiger King. You should write a piece on Tiger King.
I'm not.
Well, did you see that Carol Baskin? Did you see Carol Baskin's going to be on Dancing with the Stars?
No.
Oh my God!
It's gonna be a hot mess.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is this?
So that is your
this
season
dimension?
2, Drew. That is your season 2, Drew.
I don't believe you at all.
No, it's true.
Fact check me.
True.
You can fact check me. I encourage you to fact check me.
I have to as well. I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's true.
You're not kidding. You're not
Don't
kidding.
lie. I don't lie.
No.
I'm at a loss for words.
So if you're
People, this
watching
is
this,
real.
so if you're watching this, whenever Carol Baskin will be on Dancing with the Stars. So
Yes.
Wow.
Let's talk about something other than Tiger King.
Anything
So, so you told us a little about the piece, like the programmatic element of it. Where did you come up with the thematic material for the piece? Any inspiration beyond?
God, I should have looked at the piece before this. I haven't looked at the piece in like 2 years.
Well, I remember you cleverly putting the theme in the harp, but it was like really
Yes,
subtle. It's like really
subtle.
subtle. And I didn't know it until you pointed it out, and I'm like, oh, that is brilliant. How you have it
Oh,
underneath
yeah.
the clarinet and the tenor. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, well, I am from the Southwest. I grew up in Arizona, so I kind of have a good grasp of like the Arizona, New Mexico sort of
You can vibe with it.
what it kind of sounds like out here. And like the cultural influences that we have in the Southwest are pretty ubiquitous. Santa Fe and Albuquerque are just like the redheaded stepsons of the Southwest, in terms of. I'm gonna get in trouble for saying that.
I was about to say, this is going on the internet.
I know. It's just like they're for people in Phoenix and Tucson, we kind of like, oh, those weirdos in Santa Fe. Those weirdo artsy types. So I kind of experimented with that, like a descending chord progression that does minor, major, major, minor, which is what people think of when they think of the Southwest. And then I think there was a pointillistic thing that kind of goes throughout the piece, especially in the clarinet and the saxophone, that the way that I come up with those sorts of lines, they show up in virtually all my music, I'm trying to think of another good example. Actually, another good example is of Knights and Kings. Very similar textures
Of Knights and
between the
Kings
two
is a
pieces.
reed quintet that Ava and I played.
Yes, which is convenient
Oh, yes.
for this conversation. And thank you for doing that.
Of course.
That is created by, I create like one line. I do it on one line, and then I basically go in with counterpoint rules. And then I hocket it across the two or more instruments. And so that's how a lot of that is done. So that's basically, and then the piece is pretty episodic. So it's one scene. There's not a lot of transition material, which kind of means it lacks continuity. I'm hearing a professor from grad school in my head right now. But it's a really cool, piece. It really it has this rondo-ish fast, slow thing. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
To make sure.
So yeah, you worked with Ava and I on a little bit of Knights and Kings, and then we just finished up marketing a tenor saxophone and piano consortium.
Yes, we did. The Automaton and the Aeronaut is our steampunk saxophone romance that features daring discovery, exciting exploration, and also ballooning pirates. It is for tenor saxophone and piano with the option of becoming a tenor saxophone and orchestra piece. And
if any orchestra directors are watching, hit us
yes,
up.
Any at all.
Please.
It's going to be very cool. We just finished up recruiting for it, actively recruiting for it. It's part of my monthly consortium series because I've decided to do a monthly consortium for a full year, one per month. So I'll come out of this with 12 pieces that I've consorted, and then I'll see if I'm still alive at the end of that.
Place your
the
bets
first
now.
one, what?
Place your bets now.
The first one was for English horn and piano. The second one, there's an alto saxophone and piano version that will be available in a year. I know, Ava.
They already get versions of too much of my stuff, or too much oboe stuff.
Ava and I were talking about this recently. We steal a lot of music.
It's
and a lot of clarinet
true.
music.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah,
y'all
they just
do.
get the hand-me-downs.
You're right.
Y'all do, but this was designed for this piece was composed for English horn. I'll send you the score if you want. You can't perform it because you weren't part of the consortium, but I'll send you the score. I don't know how we're gonna edit that out. We should probably edit that out.
Note to editor. Wait,
yeah, is that you? Good.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, so we'll figure out how to make that work. I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. Consortia. So, and then I'm currently finishing up a piece for harp and piano, which I did not give myself enough time for because harp is hard to write for. It is just hard. Yeah, and then so tenor saxophone and piano. And the one that I'm currently on the hamster wheel for is a solo flute piece based on Relativity by M.C. Escher. Beyond that, I don't know yet.
So, exciting things happening.
Yes, there are. And I just got a commission for, you guys are gonna love this, Reed Trio, clarinet, soprano, saxophone, bassoon.
Oh.
I know.
It's close.
Make an English horn version and we'll
yeah.
play it.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll play it with them.
More realistically, it would probably be a
tenor
soprano.
sax and throw oboe.
No, oboe, clarinet, bari sax.
Cool. That works too.
Or could also work oboe, alto sax, bass clarinet.
Cool.
Interesting.
But no, I mean that's a commission for them. It's based on
of
coffee. I'm very excited.
Ooh.
It's Keyed Contraptions. They're out in San Francisco. And another commission for flute and saxophone, based on The Little Prince.
Ooh, very exciting.
So yeah, all kinds of exciting things. And also my commissions are literally always open. If you have a suggestion for a consortium, please email me, wizard@kincaidrabb.com. I'm so sorry. I'm so shameless about this.
Like, we were gonna ask like how people contact
you. Yeah, we were gonna ask you.
Yeah, like that's how we. Well, that's
perfect.
How we end.
I just pivoted into that anyways.
Well, I guess that being said, is there anything else anyone would like to bring up?
What I think is cool. I think so. Of all the commissions from that round that we did for this album, I think Kincaid is the furthest distance, right? I think.
Yes. Yes, for the album, you would be the farthest one from us.
And then both Drew and I have actually been able to meet Kincaid in person.
Yes, we have.
Yes, Drew at NASA, and then Michelle came to Las Vegas when I was studying there, and we walked. We
went down the strip, and you showed me around everywhere. Cool.
I was like, okay, that's where you go. That's where you go. Don't go there. Just don't.
And we just listened to a bunch of saxophone music.
We did a bunch, so much saxophone music. I sometimes think about how that was like the last thing that a lot of us did before the pandemic really hit. Like that was it.
Happened. Yep.
That was it. Was NASA. I actually I'm luckier still because a lot of people had NASA and then that was truly it. I had a concert like 2 days after NASA, which was Mark Mellitz and Clocks in Motion, and Mark Mellitz was there, and it was just great. But but that was like the last live music. Oh, it's really funny. I live in Tucson now, and I walked over to the university, and I heard. I just decided to walk by the music building, and I heard a bassoonist practicing jazz outside. And I almost started tearing up because it was the first time I'd heard someone play live in 6 months. And I was like, it's going to be really creepy if I go up to this bassoonist that I don't know and say, thank you so much for playing. It's the first time I've heard bassoon in 6 months. But it like really warmed my heart. And I was like, oh, we need this back.
Hopefully soon.
Hopefully.
Well, for the time being, we can do Zoom interviews with our favorite composers.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes. Honored and kind of shocked that I'm one of them, but
we were super happy to have you on the album. We loved your piece. It was great to be able to premiere it at the Flynn Institute of Music, and then later record it on our debut album.
Yes, it's very cool. It's having music on an album goes so far as a composer. Like it's something that like it's a measure of like, yes, it's a validation thing. It really feels incredibly empowering, and I really thank you for facilitating that, and really congratulate you as undergrads, for God's sake, for facilitating that. I mean, that's huge. Like,
thank you for writing for us.
Of course. Thank you for paying me to write for you.
It was a collaborative effort. We couldn't have done it without music.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. So
on a happy note, is there anything else anybody would like to add?
Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Kincaid_Rabb. Actually, those are really my main two at the moment. Mostly just follow me on Twitter. That's where you'll get in touch with me.
Follow him on Twitter.
Like
seriously,
that's where you'll get me. That's where you'll get me.
This man is a Twitter genius. Like,
at me on. Oh, please. Megan Enan's a Twitter genius. I'm a Twitter trainee. I'm not a Twitter genius. Like I just tag new music hashtag new music Twitter, and then to just at everyone.
He's been giving me Twitter lessons recently, so he's helping me out a little bit.
So yeah, follow me on Twitter. That's the easiest way of getting a hold of me. Or go to kincaidrabb.com. I believe that Conversations is available on Spotify, Apple Music. Is it available in actual like physical CD form as well on your website?
Yeah, well, contact any of us for a physical copy,
copy,
and we'll be happy to send it to you. I have
a
some of them sitting in the closet
somewhere. Not here, but like in the other room. Like I have a filing box with I call it my praise box. I keep like old programs and like CDs and all of my nice things that people have said about me. Yeah, everyone should have a praise box. Make a praise box. Make like so when you're feeling down, when you're feeling not creative or like you don't matter, you can go to your praise box and be like, oh, I matter quite a lot. I have done quite a lot. These are things that I have done. I do good things. This is great.
Well, we're honored to be a part of your praise box.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you are definitely part of it. There's a lot of people who are part of it though. I just someday I'll do like a Patreon thing where I go through the praise box and be like, here's all these things. But also, I'm on Patreon if you want to see behind the scenes stuff. It's $1 a month. It's cheaper than Starbucks. Don't go to Starbucks. Support local coffee.
And on that helpful note, thank you all for joining us for this episode of Conversations with the Blank Experiment. You heard where to follow Kincaid, and you can follow us on any of your favorite social media platforms, The Blank Experiment. And thank you all for joining us. And thank you, Kincaid.
Yes. Thank you.